Hi, everyone. Welcome to Q School. Good afternoon for everybody on the East Coast, I guess, and good morning for Hawaii, right?
Yes.
I guess still on the West Coast.
Yeah, still West Coast.
My name is Guillaume Tremaine, and
I am Maura McGinnis.
nice, you nailed it again.
I nailed it again. Getting better every time.
And we are going to do our spotlight today on our new optical lens for the TORQ, VEVE, and LALO.
So that being said, optics.
Well, before we go there.
Well, except optics.
Oh, yeah, optics.
Optics.
Yeah, I used to wear glasses.
Did they look like that?
Not quite like that. So I did not have hip glasses.
No.
So, no.
Okay.
But I got the laser surgery.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
My ophthalmologist didn't have, or had glasses. She didn't have the surgery. I should have clued
Seems
into
like not a good endorsement.
Yeah. I figured that out after.
Right.
Yeah. So, we have been not only doing the Q schools, but we've been putting these Q schools online. So we started, we didn't have our Q school last week because of Leducation, but our first...
Which is also online and available.
What's online?
Leducation. All their seminars.
Those seminars. They did a fantastic job.
Yep.
We started this whole thing on March 17th when Leducation was canceled, and we did our virtual Leducation.
Right.
And then we picked it really up on the 14th of April, and we started our weekly product spotlights. And so those are available on our YouTube channel. Please go there and check out any of the presentations that we've done so far.
Well, really specifically.
The ones that I'm in?
Yes.
Which, no, any of the ones that are up there are filled with not only product overview, but more technical information and some less technical information.
The other thing to note on that slide is that a couple of our presentations have been AIA accredited. So we can't publish those on our YouTube channel, but we are happy to present them virtually, or we're still hoping for in person anytime. And that's one CEU. So just reach out to your regional or your rep, and we can organize that.
Yeah.
So subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the big thumbs up on any video that Guillen is in, which then gives me some validation too, because I'm in a lot of them.
So you just want the props.
That's me.
Yeah.
It's me.
All right.
I'm very needy like that.
Yeah, you just need the thumbs up.
So as a reminder, our website is q-tran.com. And when you go to our website, you navigate through our products bar, and we're going to talk about extrusions today. Those flags show new and improved or expanded offerings. The TORQ is one we're going to really talk about. Every page has technical information, compatibility charts, and then sort of downloads and videos if there are any. The compatibility charts are cool because those are live links out to your LED that you might put in this extrusion. The buttons are spec sheet, white optic spec sheet, and ordering guide. We always recommend the ordering guide because it has the most complete information. You start with your ordering parts, and then you have your dimensions, your lens options, your wiring options, your end cap options, your different beam angles, your different compatibilities, your finishes, your clips, your installation, your accessories, your associated products, your diode imaging. It's like...
And more.
And more. Wait, there's more. There's mounting installation. So you don't need that to necessarily write your specification, but it's a lot of good information for you to have when you have a complete package. So our website's pretty user-friendly. We have that nice toolbar at the top with products, technical information, a gallery, an about section, and we are improving our website. And I'm pretty sure that we'll be having a Q school about that when it launches in October? Question mark?
I really hope it's October.
October. But the one thing that I sort of flew past in that quick navigation is every product category has filters on the left-hand side. They're not so applicable to extrusions, but they're really super helpful with LEDs and LED power supplies. And again, go to our YouTube channel, and you will find plenty of content really digging into that.
We have 3 extrusions that we're talking about. Sorry, that's my fault. And so before we get into that, the optical lens is you like to talk about this.
I'll hold. I can Vanna if you want a Pat Sajak it.
All right, so we extrude our acrylic optical lens. We've enhanced the transmission level and the PMMA And so we're not getting any discoloration. But the beauty of this is that we're extruding it versus molding it. So molding an optical lens is maybe easier to do, but it limits you to about 15 to 18 inches because that's how big the molds are. Extruding the optics is more challenging, but it allows us to have a full 8-foot length or longer so that you don't have breaks in those optics. Yeah.
So what we're talking about today is one lens that delivers multiple optics, and we're going to get into those details of why. Right now, we're introducing it with the TORQ, the LALO, and the VEVE. The FLIR and the LATO and the LALO are coming soon, but we're still developing all the metrics. And then because it's on the new spec sheets with the optical lens, we want to talk a little bit about some improvements we've made to our clips and always remind you of some great accessories we have that will work with these extrusions and lenses.
Yep.
But I did have a question for you. I've been here a minute, and we used to, well, we still have on our extrusions page something called the Vega, which is also an optically enhanced. That's our Vega.
Why? I was wondering why this is up here.
Right, because
so
it's optics.
We're not talking about this today. So that.
I'm not talking about it at all.
No, we're not talking about that.
So should I take this one away?
Yeah, do you want me to throw that too?
I don't know.
No.
I think you might.
Right.
I'm gonna take this one away.
All right.
So the Vega's still available, but we have a way better mousetrap.
I think we do. So we are, and one bullet that you had up there that we didn't hit on is that we have multiple light engines that can go into these extrusions. You kind of briefly hit on it, and we'll go into more detail here, but the light engine and the distance from the LED to the lens will dictate the different optical outputs that you'll get. So with that, we're going to go into.
So it is a lens, of course, but it's so much more. So we have our standard 4 offerings. Here, this is a TORQ shown as is shown in your sample case with the clear frosted polar diffuse. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm out of the shot. And then we have the optical lens. So, by the way, speaking of this particular fixture, it's in your sample case, and it is, we are working on making changes to the sample case as we develop new products. So right now, you would have to request, after we talk today, exactly what kind of combination you'd like with optics, but we will be getting that incorporated at some point.
Yeah, but we're just showing this to show the standard, what comes in the standard sample case, and having the 4 lenses really gives you the ability to show the transmission and the pixel freeness, and then having the pixelness.
And it's just leading us into our next slide is why I wanted to show it in person, because the next slide shows you our finish options and our lens options and a cutaway isometric view of both the flat lens and the optical lens. So that's
So that slide used to have 4 lenses, now it has 5.
It has 5 lenses.
Yeah.
And 2 drawings.
And still available in satin anodized, black, or bronze.
So let's, this is a TORQ spec sheet, what the TORQ spec sheet is going to look like. Again, beating this horse, you are going to have diode free to diode not free, depending on your lens choice.
And then the last one is optics, which is OPT.
Okay. TORQ is a workhorse for us. The TORQ fixture is as sort of malleable as you can get. You can wire it from all directions. You can have multiple mounting options inside of the extrusion. It can take white optics, which we have talked about. We're going to talk about again. But if you look on that bottom right side of the slide, you can see we have a beam cutoff. So we have no optics in our flat lens, but we do provide different cutoffs by moving the LEDs closer to or further from the lens. And then the optical lens. So again, I'm beating it up. 1 lens, multiple results. So you can see we go from 12 degrees up to 47 degrees with a single lens. So should we demonstrate that?
We should. And again, having the LEDs on the bottom and then versus the tray. So you want to get into that?
Oh, yeah, let's show that before we show the results. So here's an empty TORQ extrusion, an anodized aluminum, basic extrusion, empty, and here's a tray.
So for standard product, we put the LEDs just on the bottom here. And then we have the ability to raise the LEDs with the tray. So having them mounted on the bottom here would be tray position 1, and then we can actually raise it to a mid-level, which doing on live TV in front of millions of people is
With no glasses.
With no glasses. Yeah, I still wear glasses. They're just readers, not everyday glasses. So then we raise it a little bit higher, and I don't know if you can see that.
I think and you can see that behind the tray is how you're raising it up. So in my hand is actually a different mounted LED on a tray. So normally when this is an option for fixtures, we recommend that you get the fixture built at the factory and assembled this way. That's going to be how your part number is dictated. We do not recommend field installation with the mounting tray.
So
now we have some things to compare that I think I requested some samples.
We do, and now you're going to put me on the spot because I forgot to.
I have mine.
Oh, that's all right.
I have mine.
I got it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What are we looking at? Since I wasn't allowed to read it.
One's a narrower. So we've got a 12 degree and a 40 degree.
All right, so it's a 12 degree and a 40 degree based on location. It is the same light engine behind. I didn't realize my dimmer was on at full, but so be it. So same LED, it's 3 watts a foot, 3,000 Kelvin. And you can see in those two positions the real difference between that 12 degree and I believe 40 degree is what we publish. I would have to see the slide again since I'm still learning.
And then this guy is the HE, right?
Right. So we always like to remind everybody, I think a few weeks ago, Gina and I had some time behind this table, and we talked about our HE and our HE Plus. So right now you have...
I'm pointing to the camera. Well, I guess it's overhead.
Let's see if we can see all 3 being turned.
So this is the HE.
Right. There's all 3. Now you can see all 3 from the camera. So what are we seeing?
So here is the 3 watt HE, I believe, and I can't remember which one. So then we've got the narrow and the wide, so 12 degree and 40 degree.
Right.
And then we've got the HE.
Yeah, so let's compare those skinny beams.
Well, maybe we should take the 40 degree out.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Probably a good idea. So there you can see where we get a little difference.
No, oh yeah, I did. Sorry.
Because the chips in our HE series are a larger chip than our static white 24 series, that makes a difference of what happens. So this is the same part number, but you can see there's a bit of a difference. And that's important. Those couple of degrees might make a big difference if you're aiming down a 12-foot wall or you're grazing up something. So we like to point that out. It's a nuance. It's a detail. We'll help you write your specs if it gets confusing, or you just say, hey, I need this many lumens and this degree. What do I use? And we'll put it together. And before we move on, at this point, this is an extrusion with a lens. So you have to specify it that way and then specify your LED separately. I think since March, we've been talking about the verse over and over and over, which is our first foray into linear fixtures. So we are going to be launching our extrusions as fixtures. So everything will be there for you on a single spec sheet, but we're not quite there yet.
We're not quite there yet. And, we introduced the verse. People really love the optics, but we also heard that they wanted the optics in our everyday channels. And so that's what this is giving us the ability to do. And it's a really, really, really well done by product development. So
absolutely.
We're really excited about this. And, that fixture option is going to be available, but these can be ordered, installed today from the factory, or they can be installed in the field where the verse cannot. And so if you have longer coves or, an application where you might want field installation, this may make more sense.
Right.
So
the next fixture that's ready, the next extrusion that's ready is the LALO, which is our low-lying.
Lay low.
It lays
It
low.
lays low.
Lays low.
We're pretty clever with our product
You're
names.
so clever. So the samples I made for today of the LALO are actually just dry and wet. the reason why I made the wet sample is because we were not previously able to offer a wet graze solution. So you had no exterior grazing solution. And now with the TORQ, the LALO, does the VEVE fit? I think the VEVE fits wet too. Not with the tray, but without the tray. You can have an exterior rated fixture because your rating comes from the LED that's inside the extrusion, not the extrusion itself. So this is a wet graze fixture, which a very low lying, very diminutive, one might say.
Yeah.
So that is our LALO. And then this is the same guy in dry. So just the same beautiful fixture, dry location, LALO. And then what?
And then we've got the VEVE.
VEVE. So our VEVE is our corner mount. We have 3 corner mount extrusions. This is probably the most engineered, right, of the 3. The others are a little simpler. This has a wireway at the back side. That back, the apex of the 90 is a wireway. And you can see, again, sort of a flat level here. So again, with that tray that we talked about with TORQ, that can be used in the VEVE to allow for moving your location of your LED closer to, or without the tray, further from the optical lens.
Yep. And so if we go to that slide,
we
which
built
is probably there we go.
That's your job.
Yep.
So we built some VEVEs. Again, I did not build a thing. I asked for them. And what we did was we did them at the same, let me see, same light engine, different locations.
You want me to hold it?
Yes, please. Yes, please. So this is our nice corner mounts, and you can really see the difference in the location, right? So there's that wider spread, and there's the narrow spread. So we called this one a 20 degree, and this one is a label I can't see because it's 45, I believe.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, we labeled it 45.
Yep.
So we're calling this 45 and this 20. These are all nominal, by the way. We can provide you with any metrics that you need, but we don't, we're just sort of naming them as to the average, right? Let's look at the slide full size, please, so I can read it. So we say 20 degree, 21.9, so with the high efficacy, 45, and then 49.9. Again, it seems like not a lot, but those 5 degrees can make a difference.
Yeah, so an application might be in a cove, really trying to throw the light up onto a dark vaulted ceiling or something.
Oh, interesting that you should mention finishes. I think we have a little something to talk about finishes.
Like
What
this?
if you did have a dark vaulted ceiling?
Boom.
And you wanted to have your light fixtures disappear? Would you specify it in bronze or black, maybe?
Possibly. Yep, that would be a good idea, but then you're going to lose all your light.
Right. Well, not all of it.
Well, like half of it.
You lose a lot of light. So we
Or
do
more.
have a lumen multiplier chart included in every ordering guide for our LED product. And that will give you your light loss factors, taking your initial lumens, which are published on the first page of every spec sheet and every ordering guide for our LED products. You would take your initial lumens and then apply your light loss factor or your multiplication factor to figure out what your delivered lumens is. Black and bronze are very nice details to add to a design and often come in super handy, but then you've lost a ton of light. How could you accommodate for that lost light, Gian?
I don't know, I was falling asleep when you were talking about lumen multiplier, so.
Gian was never a lighting designer, so he never had to go chasing lumens that disappeared.
Okay, so we have offered the white optics for a little while now. It's available as a standard in our new reverse product, but in the other extrusions, it is an option. And so this is the TORQ with the white optics inside of it. So it's
No lens.
What's that?
No lens.
No lens, right. So the white optics is either a paint or a film. We use a paint, and the applied material gives us a higher efficacy. So we are able to get out of a satin anodized extrusion anywhere between 15 to 24%. But with black or bronze, we get a lot more, right? So we're increasing our light levels about 50%. And so we can really get back to what the what you should be getting out of the extrusion
Right.
or the fixture.
So if you take a look at this slide, can I see it full, please? You're going to see this is for a clear, frosted, polar, diffused, and encapsulated. Not that that applies to optics, which is what we're talking about today, but that's where you get this real boost. I like to remind people about white optics because it's a really great feature that can help you not only save energy by using a lower wattage in a black or bronze extrusion, you're going to save on power supplies over long runs. So our white optics is available in TORQ. We will, if you need it, run calculations with a certain engine, in black, in white optics, with the optical lens, and let you know what your delivered light's going to be. That is not on the lumen multiplier chart yet.
Nope.
So that is our optical lens. Also on the spec sheet are the new mounting clips.
What?
So, what?
We have new mounting clips?
We do have some new mounting clips. I know it's
let's talk about those.
Very exciting mounting clips. Do you want to? I'm going to dig them out from our bag of tricks while you talk about them.
So our standard mounting clip is just been increased in length. So we had it shorter and the surface tension was good, but we felt like it needed to be a little bit stronger. So we increased the length of the clip, which basically doubled in size. It went from a half an inch to
Probably
about.
should have brought an old clip with me to compare.
But it really hasn't changed any other dimension except for the length here, which increases our ability to hold.
Well, why don't you leave it on? Because then we're going to compare it to our next new clip, which is it's the same clip, but a magnet is attached to it. So this magnet clip, if you have already, where do my TORQs go? Oh, they're right there. Sorry. So if you have a metallic surface that you can put this on, it's a pretty cool thing. It does add dimension to your mounting and lifts your fixture away from your surface, but it's a pretty, did you want to?
Yeah. So I can hold it.
Are you holding it?
Yeah.
So it's a pretty strong magnet. And we do have the information on the pull force, and it's a Neo. Doug's on the call. He'll type into the chat Neo
Rare
medium,
earth.
Neo cadmium.
I don't know. Rare earth magnet.
It's a magnet. It's strong. And in addition to new clips, we like to remind you of some items that have been in our repertoire for years.
Arsenal.
Our arsenal. I like repertoire. No?
Yeah.
Arsenal?
Same thing.
A little bit angry.
Toolbox.
All right, it's a little more agnostic.
So we have the Q angle. Or are we going to that? Yes. Q angle and then the pivot bracket. So both are great for this kind of application. Obviously the Q angle.
Look what I have.
Bag of tricks.
Bag of tricks.
So the Q angle will allow you to, really mount the extrusion in different applications and different mounting methods and be able to angle the extrusion, especially with the grazer, in different orientations.
Right. So we've talked about this many times. It's a locking angle. It's very well machined, and you're going to get a lot of option out of this little guy. So that's our Q angle. And then, not nearly as beefy, is our pivot. So our pivot bracket is a nice angling bracket. It doesn't lock in the same way as the quangle does, but it is also really useful. So if we go back to the slide and we look at those images, our marketing team mocked up a VEVE and a TORQ. The TORQ is on the Q angle on the left, and the VEVE is on the pivot bracket on the right. And you could see they were mounted over a reflective surface, so you can really see what's happening there and how you can angle the fixtures. Yeah?
Yeah,
Good.
I think that's it.
And the quangle can go outside.
Yes. Yep.
So you have a wet grazer that you can mount to a vertical surface, like a rooftop. I'm right back to the rooftop. With 6 watt HE.
A very, very short roof or building. As always, you can reach out to your regional and or me. What?
Sorry, I forgot. I had one more prop. Reach out to your regional or GAN. because what we talked about is our sample case. So we have this cool case. It has tons of our extrusions, lots of lens options, the quangle, the pivot bracket, a power supply, some extra stuff. So we can send these out to your reps, to your homes, whoever needs it. It's really handy. And we've got them. So if you need them, let us know.
Yeah, and we have 5 iterations of
My
samples.
gosh, we have many. The one we're talking about today is this one, architectural sales.
We do have a question from David.
Hi, David.
He wants to know if you can get factory assembled tape channel fully assembled with the power feed located in the middle of the runs, particularly with the 45-degree channel within
that
the
would be
wire
interesting.
chase.
We
Not with the-
haven't done that yet.
And we can't do it with this guy because it only comes out the...
We could try.
We could try. We might have
I know
to...
that they had a version of this designed at one point to come out here. And we just didn't see the application because of how you mount it
Right.
and how it would be in the corner. I don't know.
Can you read it again? I'm wondering if he means that it would be sort of... Could be 90 too.
So it's, can you get factory assembled tape channel with the power feed located in the middle of the runs, particularly with the 45-degree?
I think he's talking about
Yeah,
here.
I think so too. Draw it up, David. We could see what we could do, but at this point, that is not a standard offering, but we are all about breaking away from the standards around here. Engineering loves it.
We do have a question from David Wells. In the wet option, can the extrusion conceivably become filled with water?
Yes, it's not gasketed if that's what we're being asked. So if you are in a wet application and you need it to graze,
I'm gonna say that we would have to maybe do testing because, David, if you look, let's look at the overhead shot. So the feed on the LALO, because that's what I built in wet, is straight in the end.
but it's not a submersible rated fixture.
It's definitely not submersible. These are not IP68, they're IP67. But we do, our factory glues these end caps on with silicone. Sorry, I'm moving out of the shot. Thanks, Justin. Oh, and I have a black cable on a black thing. So it could, yes, conceivably it could fill with water. It's not inconceivable.
There you go.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your Tuesday, and thank you again.
Yeah, thank you very much.